and then kind of, I don't know if this like completely segues into this next question or comment, but we both like mentioned community as being like our one of the points of differentiation. Like we would be able to like establish and build our own communities. And part of that is like building in public. And so Corey talks about like, yeah, that was something that like during their early days, so like 2014, 15, I can't remember, building in public wasn't necessarily like a big thing, but now it's like something that's a bit more commonplace. And Corey mentions like, oh yeah, don't build in public to the LinkedIn community, build into like more organic communities than that. We've kind of taken like a different approach. We've taken like the exact opposite approach, and like we've kind of started to work with LinkedIn first and like kind of building that type of like community. Do you think that's the right way to go about doing it? And if not, like what is the best way?
I think it depends on the person. But I remember hearing that and I was like, that's a really good point. I've been kind of trying to build in public to my professional network, not necessarily to customers, but I think LinkedIn has been super helpful for us in terms of some of the connections that we've built through that. And I think you have to kind of get the professional connections to get your business off the ground because you have to surround yourself with people who know. For us, for example, designers, developers, uh, agencies, all that kind of stuff. Like that comes a lot of times through LinkedIn, and having a presence on there just gives you more credibility. And also kind of like reaching out to founders, for example, for a podcast or just to get advice. They're more likely to talk to us and give us advice based on the fact that we have this um, kind of not portfolio, but we have all of this evidence of everything that we've been working on, what we've been thinking about over the past few months, things like that. So I think LinkedIn is definitely effective, but we're getting to the point where we're close enough to having a product where we want to be on other kind of channels as well. So we've talked about Discord, TikTok, Instagram. I think all of those make sense. It's just I think it's a bit harder to build in public on those because it's more like, consumer facing. So you want to make sure that the branding is right. You're making a good first impression. Whereas on LinkedIn, it's more of like your personal brand. And it has to be, on brand with your values and things like that. But you don't have to think about kind of like it's got to look super nice or anything like that. So I think it's kind of like we've graduated from just being on LinkedIn to being on some of these different platforms as well. We just got to figure out how we show up on those platforms and really make a really good first impression with some of our potential customers.
Yeah, no, that was like kind of my thoughts exactly, especially like the graduation piece, realizing that like we have done what we kind of set out to do with like LinkedIn in terms of like surround ourselves with people who can help us build this product and set up this company. And now the next stage is going out and showing that to the world. And that is a bit daunting because we have like this idea that we want to make this product perfect because this is our only chance to make a first impression and we don't want to screw it up. And so, yeah, it's a bit like, okay, there's a bunch of risk associated with this next move, this next like graduation piece, which is like going off and jumping on some of these other socials and really, being customer facing. So yeah, no, I think we went about it the right way. Like it was necessary for us to kind of start with LinkedIn, but now we got to build in public on some other socials and it's going to be challenging. It's going to be different because we've gotten used to it. We've gotten comfortable. It's time to kind of rock the boat a bit.